Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to another video. They saying Somalia has taken over Minnesota, Minneapolis. Um, I've actually been seeing this going on for a little bit of a while now, and I kind of never paid too much attention to it. Just like, damn, that's crazy. But they're saying it's officially official. So let's go ahead and check out the video. Let's get straight into it.
They publicly admit that they have no interest in the people of Minnesota. Hell, they have no interest in the people of America. Their only allegiance and the only people they care about are the people of Somalia. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys watch to the end because I have an insane bonus clip for you. But don't take my word for how they feel. Let's watch this clip from Ilhan Omar's rally.
xildhibaan Ilhan Omar oo magaca Soomaaliya qalin dahab ah ku qortay qadiyadda Ilhan ma aha qadiyad Ilhan ma aha qadiyad Minnesota ma aha qadiyad reer Mareykan qadiyadda Ilhan waa qadiyad Soomaaliyeed guusha Ilhan waa guusha Soomaaliyeed waxayna noo ximbaarsan tahay macno weyn.
The American left's obsession with multiculturalism and virtue.
Oh, that's crazy. Like, imagine someone from elsewhere, just a whole nother place, coming to your house talking about, I'm finna do stuff here for the sake of our people. F your family and what y'all got going on, in this house. We coming over here and making sure we doing for our people. And these are the people that's in charge of that state. That's crazy.
Signaling has created a situation where a sitting member of the United States Congress is pledging allegiance to a foreign nation. I wanted to show that clip first because everything else in this video will make so much more sense. They have no appreciation for our country and no intention on assimilating into American life and giving back and contributing to their fellow countrymen because they don't see Americans as their countrymen. They are in Minneapolis city government, Minnesota state government, and United States federal government with the sole intent of passing legislation that takes American taxpayer money and direct it exclusively to the pockets of Somalis. But let's check out this disturbing next clip of the mayor of Minneapolis, who is whiter than mayonnaise, bending the knee to the Somali population and declaring that Minneapolis, a once great American city, is now Somalian territory.
Maaga Egawa Jacob Fry, Doke Magalada, Minneapolis. Damaan, Shaabka Somaliyed, Kayimid, Mogadishu, Garowe, Hargeisa, Bosaso, Edabo, Kismayo, Wahan Rabah in An Idin Shego, Minneapolis, Wa Magaladin, Wahad Kamid Tihin Laf Dabarka, Magaladan Ka Digesa.
The left hates American values, American tradition, American history so much and believe our destruction is so justified that they are happily aligning with people who publicly boast about their allegiance being to a foreign nation that plan to steal as much American tax money as possible to enrich themselves because their goal is, has, and always will be the prosperity of Somalia. But it's not enough that they've successfully leveraged liberal white guilt to get the mayor to submit to them. They must install one of their own to further cement Somali control within the state of Minnesota. We recently covered their socialist mayoral candidate, Omar, I'm the captain of this boat now, Fateh. I'll throw his picture up on screen as a quick reminder. But now, unsurprisingly, Omar is under investigation for money laundering and corruption for introducing legislation in the Minnesota state government that would direct taxpayer funds to his wife's organization. Take a look.
A Care 11 investigation into Minnesota's troubled housing stabilization program, already exposed for widespread fraud, now reveals an unexpected connection to candidate and state senator Omar Fatah.
We did discover something raising what a legal expert labels serious ethical concerns. Senator Omar Fateh's wife was a listed owner of a housing stabilization company, even as the senator and current Minneapolis mayoral candidate himself was pushing legislation to fast-track client approvals for the taxpayer-funded program.
Senator Fateh, Senate File 2741.
A bill that will address a critical delay in access to housing stabilization services, also known as HSS.
It's March 24th, 2025, and Senator Omar Fateh is the
that's
sole
recent.
author of a bill he says will speed up access for people to be approved for HSS. What was not known at the time was that Senator Fateh had an undisclosed tie to the HSS industry. Does this raise any red flags?
It raises lots of red flags.
Political science professor David Schultz has taught ethics for 25 years. He says what raises red flags is that Senator Fateh's wife, Keltoum Mohammed, was a founder and owner of Community Development Services, LLC, an HSS company.
This is a situation where I think almost anybody schooled in, government ethics 101 would know that you can't introduce legislation that benefits yourself.
This is the end goal of the liberal philosophy that America is an illegitimate country. The land was stolen. Our wealth was gained through exploitation. Their self-worth comes from a competition amongst each other of who hates themselves the most. And the end result of this disturbing competition is the celebrating and pedestalizing of people who openly want to rob the American people for as much as they can and enrich a country they allegedly had to flee from. Minnesota is plagued by Somalis defrauding welfare and social programs, as you just saw from the mayoral candidate of the state's biggest city. But Democrats keep allowing it. In fact, they're encouraging it in the name of white guilt and compassion and equity. They actually stole over $200 million from the state of Minnesota that were meant for food programs to feed hungry children. That's how unscrupulous they are. Take a look.
The body scanner reveals the brutal truth about your body that your regular scale will never tell you. For weeks, my scale showed I wasn't losing weight despite diet and exercise.
Tonight, another man charged in the Feeding Our Future meal fraud case. A man federal prosecutors say played a big role in funneling millions of dollars in taxpayer money out of the country. Lou Raguse has a look at the brand new charges today.
The 74th person to be charged in the $300 million Feeding Our Future meal fraud case, Ahmed Naji Sheikh, is the brother of one of the most notorious defendants, Abdi Aziz Farah, who was recently sentenced to 28 years in prison. Farah was convicted with a group of others of stealing $50 million of taxpayer money. Now his brother Sheikh is accused of helping him launder that money.
Now, in any normal country, this would cause a major backlash from the native population. But liberals actually want this. This is the greatest form of social justice. And anyone else who dares to speak out against programs getting robbed that are meant to feed hungry children are silenced and called bigots and racist and intolerant. And when you understand the entire game plan, it starts to make sense. Did you guys know that 25% of Somalia's GDP comes from remittance, money being sent from the United States to Somalia? So the strategy is to steal money from the American taxpayer, give Somali residents free housing, free food, free school, free healthcare, give them such a comfortable lifestyle that they can afford to have 4 or 5 children, while the native-born population struggles to have 1, 2 if they're lucky. And then as their population outgrows the native population, they have more political power. And then they can enact legislation that exclusively benefits Somali people. And the money that's not exclusively for them, they can just steal it through fraud. And the more money they get, the more they send back to Somalia, because that is their goal. You heard the guy say it at the Ilhan Omar rally. But speaking of Ilhan Omar, someone who openly hates America and declares her allegiance for a foreign country, here she is going to a church and berating a bunch of white people for liking Charlie Kirk, a man who stood up for America instead of Somalia.
I do believe those of you who are interested in rewriting this hateful man's history are full of shit.
Thank you.
Boy, they look like they in a church. She in there swearing. Oh man, where's the decorum?
It is despicable that church would allow her to do that. And what's up with white
Crazy
liberals
work.
loving foreigners, telling them how evil they are for caring about their country? Ilhan Omar knows that their plan has succeeded. They have successfully beat the residents of Minnesota into ideological submission. Minnesotans, I guess, have just adopted the belief that their sole purpose in life is to serve the interests of Somalia. And Charlie Kirk, a man who stood up for America and American values, has to be characterized as an evil, awful person. And that's why Ilhan Omar goes on CNN, mocks Charlie Kirk's death, and says he belongs in the dustbin of history. Watch.
What I find jarring is that there are so many people willing to excuse the most reprehensible things that he said, that they agree with that they're willing to have monuments for him, that they want to create a day to honor him, and that they want to produce resolutions in the House of Congress honoring his life and legacy. It is one thing to care about his life, because obviously so many people loved him, including his children and wife. But I am not going to sit here and be judged for not wanting to honor any legacy this man has left behind. That should be in the dustbin of history, and we should hopefully move on and forget the hate that he spewed every single day.
Ilhan Omar believes that she embodies.
She gotta be born here in America. Ain't no way she from over yonder and she talking that bold, that crazy. Man, they bring in their ideologies and what they believe and how they think over here. Like, ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way in hell she from over yonder. She got to be on a H-1B1 visa or something. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
These true American values, which are socialism, a deep hatred of Western civilization, a scalding contempt for white people and Christianity, an acquiescence and obeisance to the people of the third world. And because Charlie Kirk got people to understand that maybe it isn't such a great idea to import people from the third world who openly hate our country and are trying to destroy it, he's a bad, evil, racist man who belongs in the dustbin of history. Got it. She's upset that Charlie Kirk believed the American dream was for American people, not the people of Somalia. Liberals imported millions of people into this country who hate us, who told us desiring cultural unity was racist, who told us expecting people to assimilate into our culture was white supremacist bigotry. And now these people have amassed political power in cities throughout America. Here's the bonus clip I promised you guys. A Muslim man in Dearborn, Michigan, a city, by the way, that put Arabic on the official police department badges, openly admits that their goal is an Islamic takeover of America and instituting Sharia law. Watch this.
We haven't done anywhere near enough. And the people here, I promise you, we do feel ashamed. We do feel like we're not doing enough. We do feel like change needs to come, because change must come. And in the form that it must come is that this empire, the American empire that's been hurting our people since the beginning, the imperial Western powers that have been hurting our people since the beginning, they must fall. And inshallah, they will fall. And my message to the people of Gaza and the oppressed peoples across the world is that there are people here, both young and old, who are going to be willing to fight and are willing to put their lives and everything they can on the line to bring these empires down, because they must come down.
Their goal has always been the destruction of the West. Look at all of Europe. European countries are now having a problem with Muslim areas of their cities being patrolled by private cars maintaining Sharia law, calling them Muslim areas where their rules, their laws have to be followed. And American liberals are aligning with these people because they hold the same beliefs. The implication that some cultures are incompatible with Western civilization was met with strict and harsh criticism and condemnation. You weren't allowed to say it. You had to adopt the belief that Western culture was bad, that white people were bad, that our country's prosperity built by our ancestors is actually the property of every single other person on planet Earth besides us. And even now, with their brazen openness about wanting to destroy America, about having allegiance to Somalia, there's nothing we can do about it because these are legal citizens. They exploited the compassion and welcoming nature of America to infiltrate it from within and steal everything that they possibly can before they finally bring the country to its knees. And that's how you have a situation where the mayor of Minneapolis is now giving entire speeches in Somalian. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on those notification bells so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. So what I would say, my advice to anybody out there in that city, pack your shit and get ready to leave. If you can't leave now, get ready to leave. If you can't leave now, leave ASAP. Because it just seems like the people who are in the higher ups who are American want to indulge and involve themselves in that type of bullshit. And they're not really there for the original people of Minnesota, Minneapolis. So take your shit, pack your shit, get up and go. You may love your city. You may be attached to your city, but sometimes in life, you have to go through a hard misdirection, a very hard change. Start all over. You know, it happens to the best of us, but that's okay. It's not the end of your story. It's just obvious to me. And it's a lot of places like this, like Chicago, New York, California, where they brought in all these immigrants. And it's not only that they just brought them in, but they chose to help them. And it's not just because they chose to help them, but they chose to help them over the original people that were already there. Americans who's already been here, who has a lifeline here, veterans who fought in wars are getting less assistance than these people who cut the line to actually get in. It's very, 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 very unfortunate. Very, very, very unfortunate. And there's some of them that are you know, coming over here the right way too, but still it's just their values kind of disrespect their American values, which I don't think is cool. We can't do that. We can't go over to a place like Dubai or places in Africa, places in Europe. We can't do these things and disrespect their country without any consequence. You can't burn up a Mexican flag in Mexico. Like, you can't do that shit. You will get apprehended for doing some shit like that. That's just my thoughts on it. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Tell me some information I may have missed or he may have missed. And yeah, appreciate you watching the video. Much love. Peace.